Good morning. Hello everybody, it's Brittany here from Petra Pan Apparel. Have not come out with a video quite a while, and that is because a few weeks back I injured my back, pretty much in bed for a whole week. So I'm slowly getting back into the hang of things, and fortunately my back has healed up really nicely. And this week I am starting back at a temporary retail job that I did last year at a little kitchenware pop-up store that I absolutely love doing. The owners are fabulous. It's just a really nice little bit of income to help me out. I launched my first manufactured product, the Bobby suits, a few weeks ago. Timing of how that worked out, my husband and I had to dip into our savings to cover some of the manufacturing cost, and so I am working on paying that back. So this little part-time job is going to help me out quite a lot. For that job, I am taking a couple of days. I am feeling exhausted right now. I've been doing markets and getting back into sewing after hurting my back, and so I need to make myself some outfits for this job. I haven't sewn anything for myself in a while. I will sometimes wear samples of things that I make. Usually it's things like with unfinished seams and just like hot messes of garments. So today and tomorrow, before I start back at my job, bake myself some clothes. And fortunately, I can wear anything I want to this job, which is super fun. I am living here in Australia, and so it is getting close to summer. It already feels like summer today. It's hot. I'm gonna make some clothes good for summertime, take on some like far overly ambitious sewing projects to do in the next 2 days, and hopefully we'll come out with a few garments that I can wear to my job. So the first thing I'm gonna be working on is a 3 or 4 piece ensemble based on this kind of 1950s pattern of the play suits with the overskirts, and for that I'm going to be using this horribly tacky print fabric. It is like a quilt cover that I found. I am obsessed. Anything that is grapes or berries, I don't know why, but it's got little like grapes on it, and then this red and green plaid. That will be the first project. And the second project is a skirt that I have been planning to create for a very long time. It is going to be made from this gorgeous cotton sateen bedsheet. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it's alternating stripes with a kind of sateen shiny stripe and then a matte stripe. It's a bit of a heavier weight, so I'm going to make it with a pocket on the front, and the pocket is going to be made with this. So the opening of the pocket is actually going to be the kiss clasp of this purse, which I got at an antique store, based on a design by Bonnie Cashin, who was a prominent designer in the 50s and 60s, and she used a lot of hardware and interesting clasps in her designs. So this is a skirt designed by Bonnie Cashin, and it has a pocket like this with the little kiss clasp. In this pocket, the kiss clasp is pointing down, so you would lift it up to open it, and I'm gonna try to create the pocket in such a way where the kiss clasp is upright, and then you just open it, so it would be sewn onto the fabric of the skirt just with the pocket in front. So we're gonna see how that goes. I've never sewn one of these kiss clasp purses before. So that's project number 2. Project number 3, because it is of course the beginning of October, and I have a bit of this incredible ghosty print left over from a skirt that I made last year, which I made terribly, so I might try to remake that skirt, and then I'm gonna try to make maybe just a little fitted high neck top with, I think, some flutter sleeves. And I bought this trim that I found at the thrift store the other day. Cute little trim. I found this whole thing at the thrift store, and I think I might put that on the edge of the sleeves. So, oh, and some little white buttons, false buttons to get on the front. I think I'll do a zip in the back for a closure on that one. So, way too many projects. Don't know if I'll get it all done in 2 days. I'm gonna get done what I can because I'm feeling motivated. even though I'm super tired, I'm feeling really motivated. I want to have some fun things to wear. So first thing I'm going to do is unpick the zipper from the quilt cover, tear that up, and I will start drafting some patterns. Now fortunately this zipper is just basted in. It's super long, so I can actually use this for like a long dress zipper, and because it's a nylon zipper I can actually cut it to length. So it was easy. Right, it's gonna go in the zipper box. Look at my vintage zipper box. The collection is growing. I have been acquiring them because this is what I use in my handmade pieces that I sell. And it's coming along. It's tearing really well. This thread must not have been very good. It's not ripping any of the fabric or anything. I just got a tape dispenser. So a trick for pattern drafting is to get the Scotch Magic tape, because while you're taping together your patterns you can draw over it with a pencil. So 10 out of 10 recommend this tape. How do I open it? Also a tape dispenser, because it's heavy, it'll just sit there, you can pull off the tape. So I'm gonna move to doing some pattern drafting, and I'm gonna just very generally walk you through how I do this. So for the skirt, I already have a pattern for what is basically a full circle skirt, and I'm just gonna be using that, so that's easy. Yeah, so have a look at the bodice first. God, figure this out. Alright, so sorry, I don't have the right setup to do this really, so hopefully you'll be able to see. Also, found these two doll heads when I was out op shopping, thrifting the other day, and I posted an Instagram poll to see what I should do with them, and I have taken one of those answers and I'm going to be making something for Halloween with these, so stay tuned for that. So that's going to be my center front, and this is an erasable pin. I don't usually use pen, but just so you can see, I'm actually just going to not sew this dart here because I don't want it to be super fitted in the waist, because in the original pattern it's tucked in and you can see it's a little bit blousy there at the waist. It's not fitted, so I'm not even going to do that. So I'm just going to trace this out. It's going to be super simple. That's not lined up perfectly, oh well. So when I make things for myself, I refer to myself as a bit of a renegade dressmaker. But when I'm making things for my business, I measure, I check, I do everything, but not when I'm making something for myself. Alright, so basically all we need to change about this is I have my dart in here already done. And all we need to do is change the neckline from a scoop to a boat neck. So I'm maybe gonna go like 3 centimeters in from the outside, because I feel like that's about where my bra strap hits. A centimeter there. So I'm gonna be finishing the edges of this with some bias binding that I'm gonna cut from the actual fabric. So I'm gonna go, I like necklines to be quite high on myself. So I'm gonna go 3 centimeters up from here because I can always trim it down. And then I'm gonna just trace that out to this point here, right? And then I'm just gonna take this to meet my sleeve. Yeah, that's really all the changes I'm gonna make. Yeah, so what I'll end up doing is I will finish this edge with the bias binding, and then come over and finish this, and that will extend up to be my ties right there. So I am gonna lengthen this a little bit because it finishes at the waist as it is. So I'm gonna go down maybe 10 centimeters. Straight down from here. This pin is not very good. No, it's a brand new pen. Ah. There. So I'll just be square. Oh gosh, it's like coming undone. Bring those to meet. So that's the front piece done. What I will do, center front. Mark, that's gonna be my grain line. I don't really need to do anything because I'm gonna fold it over, cut it. So that's my center front. And this does not have any seam allowance. Always important to mark that. Because I'm gonna finish with the bias binding, I don't really need seam allowance on this one. But if I did, I would probably just cut it on the fabric. Okay, so if we open that up, there's my front. And then I'll just need to mark the dart on the other side. Okay. So onto the back piece. So I'll move that dart to here, and then they're not going to get sewn. So to do that, so you're gonna start here at this dart, mark where that outside leg is, trace around, and I don't want this dart, so I'm gonna close that dart. And then I'm not even going to trace that dart because I don't actually want that dart. I'm not going to sew it shut. And then extend that down by 10 centimeters, which I don't quite have enough paper. Take that down another 10. Take that down. Make sure the side seams line up. So that's basically the pattern for the first top done. Got my skirt pattern for that already. So for my other top, what I'm going to do is use my block patterns exactly as they are, because they are quite fitted to the body. All I need to do is, again, add some seam allowance to the back, center back, for a zipper, or buttons. That would be really cute. I just need to draft a sleeve for it, and I want the sleeve to be a flutter sleeve. I think I have my sleeve block for this. So there are a few ways to, so basically I want to take a normal sleeve and add a whole bunch of fullness to it so that it flutters. There are two ways to add fullness to a pattern. You can either cut it into strips and then literally like physically spread it out, or you can do something called pivoting. So at the underarm, I want this sleeve to be 10 centimeters. So I'm just gonna put a little notch or a little mark on my pattern, there and there. Take my little sleeve pattern and I will trace, and I tilt it as far as I can that way. But remember, I'll still need to add seam allowance to this. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that on the paper. I'll add my seam allowance on the other pattern by eye when I'm cutting it out. So I'm gonna trace from here. Notch. So that's the back of the sleeve because it has two notches. 10 centimeters. And then what I'm going to do is put my awl here. And then I'm just gonna pivot my pattern. Alright, so now obviously that's a very strange sleeve shape, so I'm just gonna smooth that out. Just use my little curler. So, I'm just going to measure to see if they're about the same. So, I've lost a little bit of length here, so what I think I will do, I'm just going to add a bit of height here, and that's going to help that to equal out. I just need to connect from here. I want that to be at a right angle, more or less. Here. I don't really know what I'm doing here. So what I did was I measured from here, my underarm, to the sleeve head. That was 15 centimeters, and I had said it was going to be 10 centimeters down, so I measured 25 centimeters down this way, and now I'm just using that to connect. Great. So now I'll add a centimeter of seam allowance here. Now, there would be probably much easier ways to do a flutter sleeve. I think you could basically, there's like a formula you can use, cutting it like a circle skirt, but I don't know that way. Okay. So let's have, so let's go through the center. That. And then the last thing that I need is a neckband for that top if I want to have it with a little stand collar. So I just need to measure. So obviously this is without any seam allowance. 11, 7.5. So that's 17.5 times 2. What's that times 2? Can't do it. Wait a minute. 35. So it needs to be 35 centimeters long with seam allowance added. Let's do 5. Alright, so all the pattern pieces are done now. So that's for the ghosty top. And then the rest is for my tacky little combo. I think today I'll start with all of my tacky fabric things, and yeah, so I'll start cutting out. I just had a really good idea. I was getting ready to I was getting ready to cut the skirt, and I realized that with these really cool stripes with the plaid and the grapes, what I might actually do is pleat where the plaid is on the skirt, do a pleated skirt rather than a circle skirt, and hide the plaid up at the top so that when the skirt flares out, then you see the plaid. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and in order to do that, I'm just going to cut long rectangles. I'm not going to bother with trying to do a circle pleated skirt. So I'll cut it in long rectangles and then pleat it down and cut it at wherever it's going to be my waist measurement. So I'm going to do that instead. That's going to be fun. As to be expected, I have already run into my first roadblock, which is I did the skirt panel, I ironed the little pleats, so there's little sneaky pleats in there, and when I kind of tried it on, it just doesn't have enough volume from the hips down. Cheeky, thank you. Doesn't have quite enough volume from the hips down to keep the plaid pleats hidden away. So what I'm going to do is cut another panel about the same size as this one, pleat it, and then I'm going to gather that all in to fit the waistband, and I think that will look pretty good, and I think it will keep the pleats hidden away. Would have been easier to cut it as a circle skirt and add the pleats, but that would have taken a lot more time. So my battery died, and also while my battery was dead, I went ahead and sewed up the darts for the little ghosty top. So sewn the darts, and then on the back I finished the center back with my overlocker. So I've overlocked the center back seam, which is where the zipper will go. Those are pretty much ready to go and start putting on the sleeves. So I'm gonna maybe take a quick break. It is hot in my house, and this is the hottest part of my house. So I'm gonna have some iced tea, take a break, and then start sewing. Alright, so I'm back at the work table. I have added another panel of my skirt. It is now very, 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 very long. And I have my waistband here. So what I did is I marked the halfway point and the quarter way points on the waistband and on the skirt. So I will match those points up and do some kind of messy gathering down. And then I'm going to basically just stitch those gathers into place. I'm not running a gathering thread or anything. So okie dokie, so the skirt is pretty much done. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So it's stitched and you see the little pleats. I will press it all again after I add the zipper on, maybe before I add the zipper on, just to like keep the little plaid pleats hidden away. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I might hem it a little bit, which all I need to do is cut and then tear along the bottom because this fabric tears so easily, which is great. So I'm going to pick out a zipper, quickly put that in, and then I'll get started on the tops. It is, I don't know, I think it's like 4:30 in the afternoon now. I've put the zip into the skirt, and now I sewed my darts into the little top, And I realized that actually if without sewing the waist darts, I can slide this over my head, so I don't need to put in any closures at the back. So I'm just going to stitch these together and then put on the bias binding. I have finished the first armhole with the bias binding, and I think it's pretty cute. I really like where it sits. I haven't done this side yet. I don't know if I've got it in me to do another armhole with the bias binding, but I'm gonna try it on with a skirt and see what it looks like. The whole ensemble, it's feeling very evening gowny. I do like it. The skirt is a bit too big, so I have it pinned up in the back, so I'll have to take the skirt in. But I think I am gonna lob a good chunk off the bottom so that it comes just below the knee, so it'll look a little bit more like a day dress. But I love this taggy, weird print. Anyway, I'm not sure what else I'll get done today, but I will let you know. I did it! I have finished the top, and I took some out of the skirt, shortened it, hemmed it. Well, I just overlocked the bottom, but yeah, it is for sure an old lady dress, but I love it. So it's 2 pieces. I need to add a little hook or dress bar to the skirt, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna see if I make some progress on the ghost top. Not sure, but I definitely love the top. I love the little ties. Super cute. And I like the plaid going down the middle. Yeah, so today, success. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is quite early for me this morning. I'm up nice and early to try to get all these projects done, and I've been doing a little bit of work in bed with the cuddliest bug in the world, my assistant. He's a lazy boy in the morning. So this morning I need to photograph myself in some of the Bobby suits for a promotion I'm doing for Halloween spooky season. I'm giving away free doily ghosts with every Bobby suit purchase for the month of October. So I have to get up and do that soon before the light gets too harsh outside. So all my neighbors will see me at 7 a.m. all dressed up, made up, photographing myself in front of the ghosts that I have hanging out in the tree in front. And Juke is going to supervise. So once I do that, then I will get back to work. Last night we went out for dinner and I wore my outfit that I made yesterday. I wore the top with a navy blue skirt. It was very cute. I was very, very happy about it. So I've already had my first cup of coffee, and it's time to get to work. Yuki, come here. Who did this, Mercy? Did you do this? Very guilty. Hello, it is just after 9 a.m. I'm eating my breakfast and I was feeling incredibly productive this morning. I did the photos, did up some little graphics on Canva, hung out some of my sheets to sew with that I have washed, and then tried to post the stuff on Instagram and it just would not post. I don't know what is going on. So I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, that was annoying. So now I'm eating breakfast and I'm gonna get to working on some of my outfit. Okay, so I'm here at the ironing board. I'm gonna work on the ghosty top and I have all my pieces here. I've gotta press the darts and start assembling everything. However, I realized this morning I don't actually have any open-ended zippers. So there's not a zipper that I can put because it's gonna have a high neck. I was gonna have zips that'll zip all the way off, but I don't actually have any zippers that will work for that. So I'm gonna do a button closure up the back on a fitted bodice. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put this on and off myself, but I have a husband. That's what they're for. I'll just get up and get dressed at 5 a.m. when he leaves for work. So I'm gonna get started on that and see how it goes. Change of plans. I don't have enough space on the back pieces to do button plackets. So what I'm gonna do is take the front piece, cut it down the middle, add a little strip of fabric on each side to make a button placket, and have it just button up the front. So that's the new plan. I'm gonna go do that. Alright, I just finished stitching everything except for the waistband that I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna try it on. I'm very excited. Now, each sleeve did end up with one nice big pucker on it, but the print is so busy, I don't think you'll notice. I'm not gonna bother to fix them. So here it is. Oh, I'm obsessed. Oh. I love this! Oh my gosh, this is like my absolute dream garment. Oh. And because the blocks are made to my measurements, it just fits perfectly. Oh, I never get tight, I never get fitted woven clothes. I get stretchy clothes that are fitted that will fit. But because I have such a small bust, nothing ever fits. Ah, I love it, and the ghosties and the sleeves. So the sleeves are still gonna get the trim on the ends. I have to add the waistband, and then I'll put on the buttons, and I will check back in. Oh, I love it, 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 I love it. I just sewed the buttonholes on, and I have the waistband on now. I love where this sits. I am loving the flutter sleeves. Now, I was going to put this lace trim, finish the sleeves with this lace trim, but I was just looking at it and it's quite stiff. So I think if I put it in the sleeves, it would actually hold the sleeves out and they wouldn't be so fluttery. So I think what I'm going to do is just do them with a thin, like a narrow hem. Just overlock them and then hem that under. So I think that's how I'm actually going to finish the sleeves because I want them to stay fluttery, even though this is a pretty stiff fabric. But oh, I could not be happier with this top. I'm so excited. Alright, I'm going to finish it up and then probably wear it for a little while. Sew on the buttons while I eat my lunch. The ghosty shirt is done. I'm so excited. I love it so much. I'll do some shots later where you can actually see it better, but there's been an interesting development. I just got a call from my boss at the Kitchenware pop-up store, and they've had some problems and the stock hasn't arrived yet. So I actually will not be starting this job until next week. But I still can't believe how much I've got done today. Got all the buttons sewn on. I'm about to put on the pocket onto the skirt now, so yeah, I guess that's just more time to get some of my own stuff made. So I'm gonna go set up that and sew on that pocket.
I love that word. She is. I love the glamour tone. Offensively tone. She is so
Thank you so much everybody for joining me the last few days on my journey making myself some clothes. I am super happy with how everything turned out. I absolutely adore my little kiss clasp skirt. There will be another video detailing more about how I made that one and a little bit of information about the inspiration for that skirt, the designer Bonnie Cashin, which is someone you should know. I adore this print of this top. I wish I had a bit more income so that I could get some more of this fabric to make a few of them to sell in my shop. It's exactly the kind of thing that I want to be selling. Same with the skirt. The skirt is something I plan to develop further. My least favorite item was probably the skirt made out of the quilt cover fabric. I love the idea of it. It's the only issue with it is that to keep the pleats looking the way I want, I would have to iron down those pleats probably regularly, which is not my favorite thing, but I still think it's really cute. And for when I actually want that kind of voluminous skirt, it's kind of the only thing that I have at the moment that kind of fills that space in my wardrobe. And I just love that weird tacky print. So I didn't actually have to go to work and wear those clothes this week, but next week I am going to very much enjoy wearing these clothes out. I'm going to enjoy wearing them to markets as well to sell my clothes. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog style sewing video. I find that when I do the messiest projects, when I'm making for myself, is actually when I kind of learn the most and I feel the most creative and it gives me more ideas. So even if you make messy projects, don't let anyone tell you that's not good, because that is absolutely when I learn the most, when I get the most inspiration, which is exactly what these projects were. I think they look great. I won't let anyone look inside of them because yes, they are a bit of a mess, but I adore them. I look forward to seeing you next time in my next video. Happy YouTubing. Bye!